When we tell the story of pop music in the 90s, there is before Aaliyah released One in a Million, and there is after Aaliyah released One in a Million. This is an album that opened so many sonic doors and changed the sound of music. After this, things became much more electronic and futuristic. This was futuristic soul, and it's the birth of the Timbaland and Missy sound. From the influence of this album, you get the career of SZA, Frank Ocean, Future, and so many more. This sort of futuristic soul sounds to me like the soundtrack for a movie, which is a love story about black people in love in outer space on like a space station. This album is dark and edgy. It's got electronic beats and this stutter stop and all these little things that Timbaland's putting in, but then it's this cool, breathy, seductive Aaliyah vocal. There's this sort of yin and yang between Timbaland putting in all these little things with the babies cooing and this and that and all these little rhythmic things, and then Aaliyah being very too cool for school on top of it. This was our introduction to Timbaland and Missy. This is the beginning of their era. Very courageous to bring in two unknown producers to work with a superstar. Aaliyah already had a smash with her first album, so coming into the sophomore album, there's like, how do we make sure to make her bigger and keep this train going? Generally, when labels ask questions like that, the answer is get the hottest producers of the minute and let them make the album. You know, the audience is already acculturated to the sound of their production, so this will just be easier. And they did kind of start down that direction when they started making this album. The original lead producer was Diddy. Aaliyah and Diddy spent a week together in Trinidad working on stuff, but nothing ever came of it. At some point, Aaliyah and the label both said, we've tried several producers and we're not really getting it. Let's find somebody new and innovative so we can create a sound that is just for Aaliyah. The first song that Tim, Missy, and Aaliyah made together was If Your Girl Only Knew, which would become the first single from the album, which tells me that right away, everybody understood the vision and how to execute it. This album was truly hip-hop adjacent in that hip-hop heads loved it like it was some hip-hop, but of course it's not hip-hop. She's singing, but it is hip-hop in spirit. Try to put R&B singers on a spectrum as far as what they like to make fans think, male fans think would happen on a date. So you're going on a spectrum from, let's say, En Vogue, Never Gonna Get It, to someone like Britney, who's like, oops, I did it again, I'm not that innocent. Aaliyah was definitely over there with En Vogue on the unattainable side. Like, she would make you want her, make you love her, and let you know it's never gonna happen. It's kind of hard to believe that she left us at just 22 years young, having changed music with her sophomore album.